What's up? What's up? What's up? So, before I get into it, I'm gonna introduce myself. My name is Michael Barrett. For the people who don't know, I've been in the ATM business since 2018. So today I'm gonna go over one of the horror stories that I had in the ATM business. So y'all tap in. So check me out. Let's get straight into it. All right. So back in 2021, I had a ATM inside of a convenience store. Now, given the ATM was in the hood, right? So a lot of people would say, "Why would you put an ATM in the hood? You know they'll get broken into." Blase, blase, blase. And to be honest, ATMs that are in the hood, bro, they actually do pretty good. And I say that because you know a lot of people get their SSI checks or government assistance the first and the 15th, depending on where you are. It might be different days or whatever. But a lot of people go and use ATMs and pull out their cash. So now I had this ATM inside of this location, and inside this location, it was doing decent when I first put it in there. I think I put it in there in 2019, end of 2019. So I signed an agreement with the owner, well, who I thought was the owner, which was the son of the owner. Come to find out, his mother owned the ATM, well, not the ATM, she owned the convenience store. So fast forward, you know, the ATM's doing good numbers, it's producing. I'm making around $200, $300 a month off this one machine. Um, so come fast forward into 2021, the owner, she sold the location to her niece or nephew. So when I would go inside the store, nobody that I know was in there behind the counter. There's always new people behind the counter all the time. Oh, let me fix this camera. Boom. So yeah, it's new people behind the counter all the time. So I go in there, I ask, where is Wanda? Wanda is the name of the lady who owns the convenience store. They tell me why. What? What you mean why? Because I'm the ATM owner and we have business together, so I need to know where she is. So they would stall me out, and I'm just thinking to myself, well, maybe she got sick. It's COVID going around. Maybe she got sick, or maybe her son got sick, and they needed somebody else to cover. So fast forward a week go by, and I still don't see Miss Wanda. So I'm looking. I go inside. I ask them again. Hey, where is Miss Wanda? Oh, let me call her. Okay, call her. So they called her, put her on the phone, and then she actually got on the phone. She told me, look, right now I couldn't manage the store, so I got my nieces and my nephew. They took over the store. So I'm like, oh, okay, they took over the store. That's cool. Well, does our agreement still stand? It was like, yeah, our agreement still stands. So now I'm kind of fishy about it because I'm like, what happened? Like, why can't you run the store? But anyway, she didn't really give me a good reason why she couldn't run the store anymore. So fast forward a week later, I come in there and well, I go to the location and guess what? The lights are off, the doors are locked. Now this is in the midday. I think I went on a Friday, midday Friday, and there's nobody inside of the store. Nobody's in there. So now I'm like, oh snaps, like what's going on? So I try to call her, I'm not getting any response. Blase, blase. So I come back Saturday. That next day I come back Saturday, and it's still locked. Lights still off, etc. So now I'm getting worried because not only I got my ATM in here, I got money inside this ATM, and I can't get in contact with anybody. So the next week rolls around, I call the lady, I text her, I send her a text. She said, oh, I'm gonna be at the store around noon. So I said, okay, well, I need to come refill the ATM. I lied to her because I knew, like, first off, something fishy going on, and I don't want to alert these people that I'm planning on moving my ATM. So what I do is I strap up, I get ready, I call my little brother. I say, hey man, I need you to ride with me to go pick up this ATM. He like, all right, bet I got you. So we pull up. Now this is where it gets spooky. Now this is where it gets spooky. We pull up. I got my box truck. I'm ready to go. I text her before I get there. I'm like, hey, I'm on my way. I get there. There's keys inside of the door of the convenience store. Nobody's around the convenience store, and it's still pitch black. So I tapped my brother. I said, hey, look, we finna go in here and snatch the machine and load it up. I tried to get in contact with the lady. I called her. She wouldn't answer. So I go inside the convenience store. When I get inside the convenience store now, this is what amazed me. I get inside the convenience store and it's stuff everywhere. The POS system ripped from the counter. It's on the floor. Chips, bags all over the floor. They products is like everywhere. It's a lot of wires. They had a deep freezer with meat in it because they also sold food plates, and it was rotten and it stinked. So I'm like, dang, bro, like, what's going on here? But I ain't. My first mind is, Mike, get your machine first. Then you can figure out what's going on. So I, boom, get my power wrench, undrill it, boom, 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 boom. Pick up the ATM machine, put it on the dolly, got it out the door, put it on the truck. As soon as I put it on the truck, two cars pull up. So I'm like, what's going on? One was a Hellcat and one was like a little Jeep that pulled up on me. So I'm like, oh man, what's going on? So I tell my little bro, don't worry about them. Let's finish doing what we doing, put the ATM in here. So we put the ATM in the back of the truck. The lady pop out. And mind you, I have monitors on top of my ATMs that run ads for local businesses like real estate agents and different businesses. So my monitor is missing off of my ATM, and I'm like, damn, they stole the monitor. Now me thinking like, man, if I would have waited another 24 hours, my ATM would have been gone. But back to the story. So they both pull up at the same time. They're like, well, what's going on? I'm like, I gotta snatch my machine up out of here because it's new owners and I'm and y'all close more than y'all are open and I don't know what's going on. She's like, well, I understand and we gonna we planning on reopening and just don't take the machine. I'm like, nah, I gotta take the machine because at this point I feel uncomfortable because now y'all got POS systems everywhere. The store is a wreck and nobody told me that y'all was shut down. Like, at least you could have told me that. Anyway, so a guy pull up, which I guess is her nephew, and they get to conversating or whatever, and I'm strapping in, I'm about ready to go, strapping in my ATM, and I look and I ask him, like, where's my monitor? It's like, well, we don't know where the monitor is, blase, blase. I'm like, what you mean you don't know where the monitor is? Okay, well, we'll do this. I wrote down how much exactly I spent on the monitor, on the Raspberry Pi, and etc. to get it set up. And I told him, look, this is what you owe me. And he was like, oh, okay, well, we're going to try to look for the monitor. Okay, now y'all going to try to look for the monitor. See how people play games. People play games until, hey, you get the right that I owe you. So I leave. I drop my little bro off at his house. I come back to my crib, unload my machine. I get a call, ring, ring. I'm like, okay, who is this? It's the lady, but she's calling me off a different number. So I'm like, who is this? She was like, oh, this is Miss Wanda. I said, okay, how you doing, Miss Wanda? She was like, well, we found your screen at the store. It's at the store if you want to come pick it up. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'll come pick it up, no problem. So I pull back up, but now I'm cautious, like, okay, something might be fishy, so, I'm still strapped to the T. I get there, it's a young dude there. Miss Wanda wasn't there, but it was a young dude there at the gas station, well, at the convenience store. And then he gets to telling me, like, yeah, man, the convenience store, it got a bad name, we couldn't get people to come in, and I took over not knowing that all the vendors basically don't want to vend to the store because they got a reputation of not paying their vendors. And I should have knew something was fishy the moment that I use ether cords to connect my ATMs to save money versus using a wireless box. And if you don't know anything about that, you need to follow me. But anyway, I use those to connect my ATM. So once I realized, okay, their internet keep going down. Why does their internet keep going down? Somebody not paying their internet bill. That should have been my first red flag, but I ignored it, went ahead and got a wireless. But at this point, I'm fed up. So I get there, he's telling me this, I get my monitor back, and at this point, like, I'm livid because why didn't y'all tell me that y'all changed ownership? He was like, bro, I don't know. They didn't tell me that you own the machine and etc. So I'm telling y'all this story to let you know it's not all roses in the ATM business. It's a lot of things that can go left and it's a lot of things that can go right at the same time. But that's just an experience that I experienced since I've been in the ATM business. So one thing you want to do to take away from this live that I'm doing right now, this is what you want to take away from this. For one, always, always, always have a contact number. Always have a contact number. It don't matter if it's the people that work behind the counter or if it's the owner. Have a contact number and a way to get in contact with these business owners because you don't want no one to steal your ATM. For two, always go check up on your machines. No matter if you have one machine, you got 10 machines, or you got 20 machines. Always go to where you installed your ATM and go check up on it. If the lights are off, or they're locked up during normal business hours, something is wrong, okay? Something is seriously wrong, and you need to contact them before it gets worse. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing that you should take away from this live. Always, always have a contact number. Go check up on your machines and make sure everything is on the up and up. So, man, thank y'all for tuning in. That's my ATM horror story. If y'all like this video and y'all want some more ATM horror stories, comment ATM in the comments, and I can drop more, man. I got a lot of ATM horror stories. But I also got some good stories too. So just let me know how y'all like this, and hit that thumbs up button for me if you want me to drop more and more videos. Yeah, thank y'all for tapping in. Peace.